Both the yellow and the white are blooming now. This is jasmine. And the smell is incredible, especially in the evenings. The one in the front is white, and the one in the back is yellow. And the reason I haven't been posting is because it's been so terribly hot here. I get up in the morning and I water, or else I water at night. And I am up and out and doing stuff by 7 o'clock at the latest. And then I quit around 10:30, 11 o'clock because it's too hot for me to work out here. But that's the yellow jasmine back here. And what I did yesterday was a major feat. We have had a Paul's Scarlet Hawthorn for years, and it has never done anything. I mean, the trunk never grows. It tips over in the wind, and we have to harness it to the shed. And this year, once again, it did the same thing. It loses its leaves every June. It hardly flowers. So anyway, I looked it up, and it's had a blight for all these years. And the only way to fix the blight, they tell me, is every 10 days during the rainy season, when it's wet, you have to put a fungicide on it. Guess what? We're in the Pacific Northwest, and that's just not possible. We get rain for 5 to 6 months of the year. So I decided I was going to take it down because it hardly bloomed at all this year, and it already had lost 90% of its leaves, and by the middle of June. And it looked absolutely horrible in the yard every year. So I don't take pictures of it. So I took it down, and I've got my tequila rose over there blooming, and I've got my tricolored hydrangea that's about ready to bloom. But I will walk you on. The cat is having a ball over here, but she's about ready to fall in the fountain. She's being absolutely silly. Anyway, this is where it used to stand, and it stands no more. But it'll give the other trees a chance to fill out, and I'm thinking of putting in possibly another azalea or something of color in here for the early spring for the bees, because they've got plenty of stuff in the summertime, but the early spring is when they need it the most. So right now I just have this old-fashioned watering can and a little stand here that is where the tree used to be. But it was a tree about that high, but it was spindly. I mean, it never really took root. So it's like, we'll see how everything does over here. It may require a major overhaul in the spring with plants, but it's not the planting time of year now. So maybe in the fall when they have some sales. But I don't want anything tall over here again. So it'll have to be something like an azalea or a small rhododendron or something. Or maybe even some phlox, tall phlox. But I do have a jasmine that is climbing the fence over there, and it's climbing very nicely. So that'll be flowers eventually. And this over here is Daylily Lane. And this rose is a Princess Diana, which was not supposed to get very tall. And it has grown too tall for this area. I planted it last year, and it's like, yeah, no. And it's not even a very pretty rose. It's a very pale pink. And I don't know, I just don't like it here. So this is going to get moved as well as soon as it cools down and it's time to move things. This rose here is a nice rose. I think my son Trevor gave me this. It was a teacup rose. Well, this teacup is about 3 feet tall, maybe more. So this one has to be moved as well because I don't want thorny stuff going into the pathways. So yeah, I've got a little bit of rearranging to do. Right now we have potentilla, which is yellow, and it probably doesn't come out yellow in this film. But we have the potentilla and we have the phlox coming out. So the garden changes from red and white in the spring, and then we go to pinks and purples and yellow. And then this is the Lavatera. And it's finally cooling down. Tomorrow is supposed to be a high of 67, which is what we Pacific Northwesterners are used to. So I should be able to get out and do more stuff tomorrow. But this morning, yesterday morning, I did the tree, took that down with my handy dandy little saw. And that's my backyard pond. And I've got the blood red maple, and I've got a 3-toned maple next to it here. And I have the camellia and my roses that I'm trying to train to go over the arch, and they're doing very well. They're learning. So by next year, when the rains come back, I assume I'm going to have roses up there. And I've got the yellow rambling rose over here to the left, and I've got my red rose and the pink rose over here to the right. So they have already started climbing over. And that is one of the hostas that was here. I took the one out over here simply to make room for the arch, and we still haven't really repaired the whatever is wrong with the electrical system that goes to my shed, but we'll eventually get to it. But I divided another one like this into 3 and moved those, and they're doing beautifully. And this is my red knockout rose. And I will have to get back here and start there we go. Have to get back here, and I will have to start tying it up because it goes wild every year. And every year I cut it down to about waist high on me, and every year by this time it is up and just flourishing. And then over next to it we have the bellflowers in the purple. But today I watered yesterday really good, and so I didn't do it today. I'll do it again tomorrow. But today was find the rhubarb, because the rhubarb was buried in grasses and strawberry plants. And so I found the rhubarb, and I harvested as much as I wanted to. I left some leaves on it so that the plant doesn't die. It'll still have energy feeding it. But yeah, that's what I did this morning. I also did a corned beef, cabbage, and potatoes, and a strawberry rhubarb pie. So we have that to eat on for the next few days. And this is going crazy. That is a hollyhock. And hopefully it'll be able to maintain its height once the flowers come out and it doesn't droop all down. It'll have red flowers. And behind it I have my tall phlox. And we've got a couple of purus back here. This one I've got to clip because I don't want it being that tall. I have a hydrangea back here. That's a panicle hydrangea. And when the purus gets too tall, it interferes with the flowering of the hydrangea. So I've got to get back here tomorrow when it's cool. It's supposed to be a cool 67 degrees. And that's the high. That's what we're used to. So I'll get back here tomorrow with my wheelbarrow and my clippers. But that's how it's looking here in Port Orchard, Washington, in Lynn's garden tonight. And I already trimmed up the roses back there, so they will be reblooming because they are an everbloom all summer long. And once I deadhead them, they go for it. And I've got to do something with this because I think the reason my light isn't coming on is because it's not charging. It's not getting the sunlight during the day. It's a solar lamp. So all these little projects that I have to do, and lots of pruning. Things have gone crazy this year because we just have had the very, very wet weather, and it's been wet and cold. And that's just how it is. Weeds like to grow and everything else. So I just thought I'd take you out for a little walk tonight and show you what's happening. My daisies are doing well, and those are always a bright spot for me. I love daisies. And my lavatera is doing well. The phlox is doing well. The tree ivy did not like the 90-degree weather we've been having, so I've got to tear off some of the dry leaves because they don't look very pretty. But roses are budding up again. That's my candy cane one. And my lights are working just fine on my fountain back here. So pretty soon, I've got one hydrangea that is blooming on the other side of this big one here. And that's already getting some color. It's another tri-colored one. Only it's not as big because I planted it a couple years ago. But pretty soon this hydrangea is going to have some color to it. And my pink dogwood is fading. And it's unfortunate because it's such a beautiful pink, but it does fade out to white and then it loses its blossoms. So, don't know as you'll be able to see. Yeah, I guess you can see it. There is a moon in our sky tonight. We have a moon. Look at that. One of the reasons that we don't get the hot temperatures like everybody else is because we're usually cloudy. Our skies are usually gray. But, oh, and there's kitty cats playing. That's my new stray that's adopted us. But yeah, we're usually cloudy and overcast, so the sun can't make it through. But the past 3 days have been miserable. And I sympathize with the people in France because they're going through 3-digit temperatures. I heard in one place it was 111, and it's like, no thank you. 90 is way too hot for me. But there's the jasmine, that's the yellow. And I will say good night now from Lynn's garden in Port Orchard, Washington. Bye now.